Hello, denizens of the internet. Welcome to another edition of Random Brain Farts. Tech news because blech news was already taken. Of course, the hot news is the hot MacBook Pro 16-inch. I will be getting one soon and will be providing a more hands-on experience. But first, some initial psychic thoughts, as I can only feel its aura at this juncture. I don't have one in my hands. The big takeaway from this release and the subsequent reviews from early Apple bum kissers is that Apple has finally listened. But I thought Tim Cook always said that Apple doesn't release anything until it's exactly what users wanted. Could there be any other computer in recent memory that did not live up to that manifesto? Okay, the 2013 Trashintosh, but that's it. Oh, and the 2014 Mac Mini, but those were anomalies. Yes, the dreadful failure-prone Thunderbolt monitor. Now, will you just leave me alone? I won't go over the improvements of the 16-inch MacBook Pro. Just go to one of those Apple sycophant sites and they'll tell you. But it does look good. And as I've alluded to earlier, I have purchased one. The 2016 model felt inadequate right from its release, like a stripper who forgot her spare teeth. Too thin, too underpowered, too underported, too touch bar stupid. It didn't feel right. It had that, "We can't wait for your stupid new chips, Intel. We're going to have to release this god-awful piece of shit right now, and we can wait for your bastard children later. And, we just hope that no one notices." And perhaps no one would have noticed if the butterfly keyboard actually lived up to expectations. There were just so many things wrong with it, and while Apple sold buckets of them, the keyboard returns were probably hitting them in the pocketbook, and maybe somewhere at Apple there was someone with a heart who listened to our plaintive bleats. The entry-level 16-inch seems to be as fast as the top-of-the-line 15-inch version, and at the same price as the entry-level 15 version it replaced. I'm glad I held off, and if you had listened to me, you would have held off also. Oh, for fudge's sake, Mac Pro, where are you? I'll bet you're struggling with heat issues and that nutty 3-fan setup. I have no idea how you're going to manage the heat dissipation with that thinned heatsink on the CPU and no dedicated fans for the GPU stuck in what Apple calls MPX modules. Each module is supposed to be able to handle 500 watts. Crazy! Remember, you can have up to 4 GPUs in this thing, and between the CPU and the GPUs, that will be a lot of air to move for just 3 fans. Maybe Apple will use all those weird undervolting settings, backflippy things that they used for the 15-inch MacBook Pros, because while it was embarrassing that David 2D put a MacBook Pro into a freezer to stop it from thermal throttling, it will be even more embarrassing if Dave 2D has to stick his entire Mac Pro into his freezer. Apple knows the Mac Pro will lose all credibility if it thermal throttles upon release. This is a professional desktop, not a portable after all. We will expect nothing less than to be able to wring out every last ounce of processing power from it. Then, of course, there is the monitor. Let's not forget the standless Apple monitor. Both of these items will have to be ready to make the splash Apple needs. Hey, Apple, you got till December 21 to make your fall deadline. But there might be a big hint with the timing of President Donald Trump's November 20th visit to the Austin, Texas factory that was converted from building Trashintoshes to the new Mac Pro. Will the president's visit coincide with its release? I'm sure Tim Cook will be ceremoniously giving President Cheetos a shiny new Mac Pro just so he can surf porn faster. Here in my fair city of Toronto, Google's Sidewalk project is not dead yet. Google wants to turn a bit of our waterfront into a living computer surveillance experience. As is usual in the way Google operates, you give up a bit of your life, and in exchange, Google provides more services. A leaked document outlined Google's city of the future. The plan calls for the creation of privately owned and regulated roads, charter schools, in place of publicly administered schools. The power to levy and spend property taxes without a democratic oversight, a corporate criminal justice system where the cops and the judges work for Sidewalk Labs, and totalizing top to bottom continuous surveillance. Torontos who decline to share information with Sidewalk Labs will not receive the same level of services as those who do. I don't know. I can't see anything going wrong with that. Well, that's it for this edition of Random Brain Farts. What is it, Wancho? You've signed up to live in Sidewalk Labs, and Google has already forbidden you from reading Philip K. Dick stories. And they're sending you to a re-education facility to be normalized? Sounds like fun. Save me a seat. Till next time, denizens. So long.